Hello, Kyle Stockbulls, and welcome to YouTube video 8. Tonight I'm going to be taking some time to talk a little bit about a different topic, and that is the rat race. The rat race is very common, especially in American culture. We keep having to have bigger houses, fancier cars, more clothes, fancier clothes, fancy jewelry, all this different artificial stuff that's supposed to make us happy and supposed to be the American dream. Do we ever question, though, what price we pay for all of that stuff? Debt is really the root cause, and it is one of the worst things financially that can happen to you, and it can also be a bad thing for your mental state. Americans really overuse debt. The financial system allows this, and it really shouldn't. We spend way more than we should on different things such as cars, homes, clothes, when we could live a lot simpler life than we do. As you know, my channel is devoted to helping you make more money and becoming financially free, but you also have to take a little bit of time to look back and say, what do I really need to be happy? Years ago, we didn't have all of this different stuff. We didn't have trucks that cost $80,000 and the average home price in America being $290,000. That stuff didn't exist. People had a simple shelter. People maybe biked. Maybe they didn't have cars, of course, at one time in history. People lived a lot simpler lives. America has really just gotten out of hand with this whole debt thing. We spend so much money on stuff that's not necessary, and it really affects our lives. We could spend a lot of time doing things that we actually love to do other than going to work because we live a lot simpler life. Or maybe you just want to retire early, maybe you only want to work for 15, 20 years and then you want to go ahead and retire. That can be possible, but you have to live a lot different life than other people are living. Keeping up with the Joneses is the oldest phrase in the book financially. You upgrade constantly. Phones, cars, houses, clothes, it never ends. And the thing is, with keeping up with the Joneses, it's a never-ending battle because most of the time there's always going to be someone richer than you on this earth until you become the richest person on earth. And then people are still fighting to surpass your wealth. So that's something you really have to think about. What can you really be happy with? We can be happier with a lot simpler things than we're doing in America right now. We don't have to have all of this artificial stuff. And if the finance industry would actually change and not allow people to borrow money like they do today, we would see the price for all of these goods come down because there is no reason why the prices have to be as high as they are right now for a lot of these different things, including homes, cars. The labor and materials and different things like that has went up in price over the years, but not to the level that the things are being sold at. Just like a new car, if you consider now that a brand new Cadillac Escalade runs like $100,000, yeah, it costs money for Cadillac or General Motors to have people build these cars. That labor costs money. It costs money for all the materials that go into the car, but does it cost anywhere near what the actual vehicle is sold at? Not even close. Not even close at all. Little things change over time, and the standard of life is supposed to get better, and it has. But we all have to pay a price for that, and that's just something that you have to keep in mind. Americans keep paying the price, and that's why we keep seeing elevated levels of stress. People worried about their jobs, different things like that. They really happen because people are insecure about what they want to do and what they want out of their life. It's natural. We all wonder what we should do in life. It's just part of how everything works. So how can we get past all of that? How can you get out of the rat race? It's pretty simple. Don't live like other people live. If you ever watch the Dave Ramsey show, he's going to tell you, live like no one else so you can live like no one else. And what he means by that is you have to make sacrifices to live like nobody else later on. You have to be willing not to be able to drive as fancy of a car or live in as big of a house, or pay for an Ivy League college education. You have to be willing to put those things off to be able to succeed financially in the future. If you keep very low levels of debt and you just have to pay for your basic living expenses, you'll be surprised at how much money you can save. Especially anyone living at home, I definitely encourage that you take advantage of this time because you are able to save a ton of money when you don't have to pay out rent. Or even if you do have to pay rent, a lot of times your parents or whoever you live with charge you a lot less rent than what is the market value. So if you happen to be in that situation, that's something you need to take advantage of. Don't just go blow the money on miscellaneous things that won't really mean anything in the end, because eventually whoever's helping you is not going to be here anymore. And that's something you have to get ready for. You just have to be willing to prepare yourself. It's part of maturity, getting older. You know, you may want to stay around, you may want to take care of these people, but eventually they won't be here and you have to stand on your own 2 feet. It's just something you have to remember. Nobody is going to go out there and get it for you. You have to go out there and get it for yourself. And life is short, so make sure you are chasing what you want and you're not chasing what other people want. It sounds pretty simple, but people don't follow through with it. They buy a new car because their neighbor got one. They upsize their house because they think they need a fancy 3,000 square foot house. What about these people that live in like island countries where they don't have any of that stuff? They go live off the land. They go out to the ocean, you know, and catch some fish to eat. They build a basic shelter out of sticks and stones and different things like that. Yeah, it's not a luxurious life, but those people don't have to have a ton of money to live. If you give them $100, they're set for the entire year. There's not very much that they can buy on the little island. It's just a culture thing. That's what we became used to in America. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be able to enjoy luxurious things. I definitely like to, you know. We all like to live in a nice air-conditioned house. We like to go out to eat. We like to go shopping. There's nothing wrong with those things. But you just have to do them in moderation, or you have to choose to live very simply. Like I said, there's a lot of places on earth where they don't have to have this much money to live. That's what I really want everybody to take away from tonight. You don't have to live like someone else. Live how you want to live, and if that is a simple life that you want to live, go ahead and do it. If you want to go ahead and you want to be rich and you want to live the high life, go for it. But, you know, just realize that you're going to have to put in a lot of time and work, effort. It's not easy, and there'll be time that you have to spend away from your family and friends. You may not have a lot of, you know, family and friends as well because you spend all your time working. That's the price that people pay for success, to win in the rat race. The rat race just sucks. I decided to give up the rat race. That's not what I want to do. Yes, I want to attain wealth over time, but I don't want material possessions just because somebody else has them. Yeah, I want to be rich like everybody else in America, but here's what you have to keep in mind. There's certain things that you can live without as well that will allow you to not have to worry so much about money. Debt is really the root cause of all this, and I would actually go as far to say debt is the root of all evil. It's not even necessarily money, but it's owing people money and misusing money. Money is just a tool created by humans. We use it to barter and exchange. It was no different, you know, hundreds of years ago. Before they had money, they would exchange like chores. You would go to the town blacksmith, or you go see the town farmer to get some food, and maybe you'd help him out on his farm to earn some food. The reason why money was invented in the first place is because some people thought their time is more valuable than others, which is the system we have now with money. You know, a doctor makes a whole lot more than somebody working in a retail store. That's just how it works in America. That's how capitalism works. But we just have to decide what we want to do with our lives. It's a really hard thing to do, and it's a choice that you can only make on your own. So I just advise you to be very cautious with debt. Remember why you are earning the money that you are earning. and plan out what you are going to do. You can't win in anything in life if you don't have a plan. So make your plan, decide what you want to do, hustle hard, chase your dreams, smash that subscribe button, leave this video a like, drop a comment down below, and I will see you for the next YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching Kyle Stock Bulls.